In the final and greatest battle of the First Age, known as the War of Wrath, the Dark Lord Morgoth faced the armies of the Valar and the free people of Middle-earth. They tore through his countless legions of orcs and evil men, and they even overwhelmed his fearsome Balrogs as they pushed on towards Angband, the fortress of Morgoth. His armies were in disarray, and it seemed as if Morgoth's defeat was imminent. Yet he had one final attack at his disposal, his most powerful one, that was ready to be unleashed as a final act of desperation: the winged dragons. These flying dragons had never been seen before, for Morgoth had been working on them in secret, and the greatest of their kind was Ancalagon the Black. They flew out of the pits of Angband, accompanied by a great storm of fire and lightning, and their ferocity was terrible to behold, so much so that for a while they even managed to drive back the forces of the Valar. Yet the Valar also had their own flying units, in the form of the Great Eagles, led by their lord called Torondor, and a flying ship called Vingalot, which was captained by Earendil, the father of Elrond, and they faced the dragon horde in a terrible battle that lasted an entire day and night. This battle would finally come to an end before the approach of dawn, when Earendil managed to slay Ancalagon the Black, and his body was so tremendous that when he fell from the skies, he crashed the 3 peaks of the mountain known as Tangorodrim that lay over Morgoth's fortress of Angband. His death shifted the battle in the Valar's favor, for Angband's pits were broken and exposed, and the Valar pushed through Morgoth's forces, and they defeated the Dark Lord. It's clear that the might of Ancalagon the Black would become the stuff of legends, and thousands of years later, the memory of his ferocity and power lived on, for during the Council of Elrond, Gandalf mentioned that not even the fires of Ancalagon the Black would have been hot enough to melt the One Ring. This seems to imply that Ancalagon's fires burnt hotter than any other dragons, and I would also like to mention that his name Ancalagon meant rushing jaws in Sindarin, a fitting name for such a fearsome foe. Now some of Tolkien's writings that discuss the great and final battle of Arda, known as Dagor Dagorath, seem to imply that both Turin and Ancalagon would return from the dead, and they would face each other in battle, and Ancalagon would be slain once more at the hands of Turin and his black sword. It's possible that since this was one of Tolkien's early drafts, it might have referred to the War of Wrath, though I thought it would be best to include it for completion's sake. I'd also like to clarify that it's never stated whether Ancalagon was the first of the winged dragons, or the last to be created by Morgoth, or if he was their leader. All we know for certain is that he was the greatest dragon to ever live. Finally, before ending this video, I'd like to speculate a bit on how Earendil might have slain Ancalagon. As always, just to be clear, this is just my own speculation, and it is not canon by any means. So considering how large and mighty Ancalagon was, I can't see him being slain by a sword, cause I doubt there would have been one which was long enough to pierce deep into his flesh. I've always imagined that Earendil might have used the Silmaril to blind him, while the eagles distracted him and left him with minor wounds, and that the final blow would have come directly from Earendil's ship, as he drove its bow straight into Ancalagon. It would have been quite a fitting end, the mightiest dragon slain by a legendary ship, and I would imagine that its bow would have been long enough to leave him with a grievous injury. Anyway friends, I'd love to hear your thoughts on all of this, considering how legendary their battle was and its ambiguous ending, so feel free to share your thoughts on this dragon and how Earendil might have slain him. If you're interested in learning more about dragons, specifically how Morgoth might have created them, I'll be linking my video above, where I discuss it in great detail. As always, if you're interested, check out our Facebook, Patreon, Instagram, Twitter, Discord, and some of our affiliate links in the video description. And if you enjoyed this video, leave a like and subscribe to join our fellowship today. I hope to see you all in my next video, where together we'll once again explore the magical world and lore of Middle-earth.